Yeah, I see it.
Yep. So I will welcome everyone and bienvenue à notre première session de diffusion par web. Welcome to our first ever Baie-D'Urfé webcast meeting. For this session, because it's our first, I will be doing most of my discourse in English. I hope everybody's okay with that, but I will, in the future ones, they will be done in both languages. Extraordinary situations, as you know, require extraordinary solutions. And while it is extremely important for the town to respect the government guidelines to self-isolate and to social distance during the current virus pandemic, it is also extremely important to the town to preserve the transparency of our municipal democracy, and thus our first ever webcast meeting. Given that it is a first, there may be some interesting moments. Some of us are still learning how to work with the technology, and I hope that it goes well this morning and that many of you will continue to follow us online as long as it's deemed necessary to continue in this fashion. For almost 3 weeks now, every effort has been made on a national, provincial, and municipal level to try to limit the spread of the coronavirus. The town is taking every possible measure, complying with the directives issued by the government of Quebec and making every attempt to prevent the pandemic from continuing. The town has closed all its buildings and departments, retaining almost only what are considered essential services. We have sent home the vast majority of our employees so they can comply with the isolation requirements, and most of them are teleworking, as are we, the council. Further extraordinary measures were put in place to ensure that the high-risk groups self-isolate and social distance as much as possible. So far, about 100 volunteers have responded to the town's call for help to help implement key initiatives targeted for the high-risk group, which is the 70+ population, such as home delivery systems for groceries, medications, and prepared food, as well as a special shopping time for Baie-D'Urfé seniors. But all the efforts to prevent the spreading of the coronavirus pandemic will not work if you residents don't do your part. In addition to basic hygiene practices, like washing your hands regularly and thoroughly, as well as protecting those nearby when coughing or sneezing, two of the most important precautions at the moment are self-isolation and social distancing. Limiting physical contact, teleworking where possible, keeping a few meters between you and others when you have to go out, these precautions will make all the difference, according to experts. Self-isolation and social distancing are important gestures and collective efforts. As individuals and together as a community, we can slow the spread of the coronavirus. As of March 31st, 2,097 cases have been confirmed on the island of Montreal. Baie-D'Urfé, 2 confirmed cases as of the end of March 30th. In looking at the statistics provided on the Santé Montréal website, about 70% of the confirmed cases are from people from the ages of 20 to 59 years old. More than 36% are aged 20 to 39. So more than 36% are aged 20 to 39. While this age group is not currently considered in the high-risk group, they can, however, transfer it on to others, family members, fellow residents, volunteers, and those who put themselves at risk to provide essential services like doctors, security people, town employees, etc. I am confident that the town can count on you to follow the rules of self-isolation and social distancing, and that you will encourage your family and friends to do the same. As individuals and together as a community, we can slow the spread of the coronavirus and protect ourselves, our families, our friends, our community, the island of Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and the world. We are all in this together. Each one of us is responsible to make this work. Together, we can make sure that the pandemic period is shortened and not lengthened, because of us not respecting the government guidelines, and we can get back to business as usual and normal. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you will stay on and that you will follow with us in future webcasts. So now we will go towards starting the meeting for today, and I will ask council to move to adopt the agenda for today.
I move to adopt the agenda of the special council meeting of Thursday, April 2nd, 2020, subject to the withdrawal of item C2, use of electoral list within the framework of the crisis of COVID-19.
Thank you, Councillor Lowenstein. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second, Andrea.
Thank you, Councillor Gilpin. Council, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Unanimous, thank you. Nous allons maintenant à le premier item, c'est la fermeture temporaire des bâtiments municipaux, ratification de la décision du directeur général. Council?
Considering the exceptional circumstances surrounding the COVID-19 crisis, considering the state of health emergency declared throughout Quebec by the Department of Public Health dated March 13th, 2020, I vote to ratify the decision of the Director General regarding the temporary closure of the municipal buildings of the town of Baie-D'Urfé since March 16th, 2020 until further notice.
Thank you, Councillor Phelps. Do I have a seconder?
Second.
Thank you, Councillor Ryan. Council, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Unanimous, thank you. Nous allons maintenant à l'utilisation de la liste électorale en raison de la crise du COVID-19. Council?
Donc, cet item a été retiré de l'ordre du jour. When you adopted the agenda, this item was withdrawn unanimously, so you can move forward with the other item.
Town Clerk, Ms. Bergonzi comment, I did not vote at the beginning. Do I need to vote now and indicate that obviously I too was in favor? It was unanimous by council.
Since you said unanimous, I took the unanimous as in you were voting yes as well. So
thank you. I see, I'm going to be learning. Thank you. Only 15 years on the job. Nous allons maintenant à l'avis de motion, règlement modifiant le règlement 1070 imposant la taxe foncière générale pour 2020 et comportant d'autres mesures fiscales, report du paiement des taxes foncières. Council?
I give notice of the intention to submit for adoption at a subsequent meeting of this council bylaw to amend bylaw 1070 imposing the general property tax for 2020 and adopting other fiscal measures, postponement of the payment of the municipal taxes. The object of this draft bylaw is to postpone the payment of the second installment of the general property tax on the properties located on the territory of the town of Baie-D'Urfé for the fiscal year 2020 from May 25th to June 25th, 2020. Draft bylaw 1070 is tabled.
Thank you, Councillor Gilpin. Anything more to add? I realize it's just a notice of motion.
It's just our town is following what Montreal is doing, and we're delaying the second payment to provide some relief for our citizens, just like is common on the island of Montreal.
Thank you. With that, we now go to la période des questions publiques, the public question period. Generally, for our special council meetings, we only have one question period, which is at the end of the meeting, and it is for items that are on the agenda of the day. I will now pass the floor to our town clerk, notre greffière Cassandra Common, pour nous expliquer comment on va procéder si vous avez des questions sur les items qu'on a discuté aujourd'hui. Cassandra?
thank you, Mayor. So as it was said on the website, anybody that has a question could send it to my email address. All the information is provided on the website. Also with my email address. It's a bit long, otherwise I would give it online. Unfortunately, my name is long, so Please refer to the website, send your questions via email, and what council will do is that they will take into consideration those questions at the first question period of the next regular council meeting, which will be held on April 14th.
Merci, thank you very much. Cassandra, veux-tu le répéter en français pour les gens qui nous écoutent? Merci.
Absolument. Donc, les questions, si jamais les résidents ont des questions par rapport à cette séance extraordinaire, comme ça a été dit, ça a été annoncé sur le site web de la Ville, on vous demande tout simplement d'envoyer vos questions à mon adresse courriel. L'adresse courriel est quand même assez longue, malheureusement, par rapport à mon nom. Donc, simplement vous référez à la page du site Internet. Mon adresse courriel est là. M'envoyez vos questions et les élus, le Conseil verra à répondre à vos questions lors de la première période de questions qui aura lieu lors de la séance ordinaire le 14 avril.
Merci, Cassandra. Maintenant, je vais demander à notre directeur général de parler de comment vous nous envoyez des questions, how to interact with our next council meeting, which is on April 14th. So I will give the floor to Monsieur Bouchard, notre directeur général. Nicolas?
Thank you. As you see right now, we are using a tool that doesn't allow real-time chats with citizens or interactions, but we're making sure that on the meeting, on the regular meeting of the 14th, that we'll be able to do so. So you are going to be able to interact with council, ask questions, and those questions will be either answered live or deferred for the other meetings to be answered. So normally you should be able to watch us live and be able to interact with council on the 14th.
Merci Nicolas. La même chose, si c'est possible de le dire en français.
Oui, pas de problème. Alors, pour le moment, on utilise une application qui ne permet pas aux citoyens d'interagir avec le conseil et de poser des questions. C'est pour ça qu'on vous a demandé d'acheminer vos questions à la greffière pour cette séance-ci. Nous travaillons pour qu'à la séance du 14, à la séance régulière du 14, on soit en mesure d'être en live stream, donc en temps réel avec les citoyens et que vous puissiez interagir directement là, avec les conseillers. L'information concernant le fonctionnement de la prochaine séance va être mise sur le site Internet au préalable. Donc, vous allez être en mesure de savoir où vous dirigez et comment la séance va fonctionner.
Merci, Nicolas. Alors, avant qu'on poursuive à la fermeture de la séance, je veux dire à tout le monde que je suis tellement contente, comme vous voyez, que nous avons notre administration est parfaitement bilingue. Moi aussi, je suis bilingue, mais italien, c'est pas une des langues recognized languages. Et mon troisième langue, que c'est le français, a encore d'amélioration à faire. Je vous promets que dans les prochaines séances, ça va améliorer. Donc, if we can move to the closing of the meeting, Council.
I move to close the meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Gilpin.
I second.
Thank you, Councillor Phelps. Council, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
And before we hang up, I want to thank Council for a tremendous job, and Nicolas and Cassandra. For a first trial, I think we didn't do too bad, except for me, but that's okay. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.